But when they turn away, you are left alone with yourself, and in that silence you begin to hear a deeper voice, one that was drowned out by noise and laughter. It is a painful moment, but necessary, for only in the absence of false belonging does the possibility of true belonging arise. And family doubts you, it cuts even deeper, for these are the people you imagined would see you as you are, the ones who watched you grow and believed, perhaps once, in what you might become. Their doubt can feel like betrayal, but it is also a kind of test. It teaches you not to live your life to please another's gaze, but to find your strength in something greater than approval. Their doubt becomes the fire that hardens you, for what is faith if it crumbles when no one else shares it? And here is where the mystery unfolds. God trains the soul of the man who has been abandoned, doubted, and pressed into solitude. This is not punishment. It is not cruelty. It is the stripping away of illusions. For as long as you lean on friends to carry your spirit, as long as you seek family to give you certainty, you have not yet discovered the source within. The divine teacher removes your supports, not to break you, but to show you that you were never standing on them in the first place. The soul must be tested in loneliness, for only in loneliness do you discover that you are never truly alone. What you call solitude is simply the space where God speaks most clearly, without the clamor of voices, without the demand to prove yourself to family or to fit into the expectations of friends. There arises a new strength, a strength that is not borrowed, not dependent, but your own, rooted in something eternal. Every trial you face, every betrayal, every doubt, every night spent wondering why you have been left behind, is part of the training. God bends the soul like a bow, stretching it until it feels it might snap, but only so it may release an arrow farther than you could ever imagine. What seems like abandonment is preparation. What feels like failure is initiation. The man who is doubted, the man who is left alone, is precisely the man being made into something unshakable. So when friends fail, let them go. When family doubts, let them. For in those moments, something greater is at work. Your soul is being carved, refined, and readied for a power that could not exist if everything were easy, if everyone believed in you from the beginning. A man trained by God is a man who can walk without fear, because he has already walked through the loss of all that once held him up. When a man finds himself at that place where the people he once trusted no longer stand beside him, something shifts within his heart. There is first the ache, the bitterness of realizing that loyalty is not what he thought it was. Friends who once shared laughter with him, who seemed to understand his dreams, suddenly turn away or fade into silence. At first it feels like betrayal, but soon it reveals itself as a kind of unveiling. The man begins to see that so many bonds are tied not to truth, but to convenience. People love you when you give them what they expect, when you remain easy to understand, when your path does not challenge their comfort. But when you begin to grow, when you begin to walk a road they cannot follow, they step aside. This is painful, but it is also a liberation. For what friend is one who stays only while the road is smooth? What worth is there in a companionship that withers at the first gust of wind? The loneliness that follows is not just the absence of people, it is the cracking open of the soul. He must face his own company without distraction, and this for many is unbearable. Yet this is where God begins his work. For when every familiar support has gone, when the noise has quieted, the soul can finally hear something higher. The failure of friends is not merely a loss, it is the beginning of transformation. To be